Yo chat, welcome back to another video. It's your boy NSD Plays. We're doing a Jurassic Park movie tier list. We're doing the entire Jurassic Park movie franchise, and yeah, let's get it started. Starting off with the original Jurassic Park, the series that started the dinosaur craze, directed by Steven Spielberg.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park is an incredible movie about John Hammond opening a dinosaur theme park. I wonder if they bred raptors.
Bred raptors.
Huh, I guess so. With iconic scenes like the raptors in the kitchen and the literal T-Rex chasing a Jeep that maxes out at maybe 40 miles per hour. This movie was absolutely incredible. Great acting, great sets, generational CGI, and practical effects, and making the set on Hawaii, which is a perfect area for it. So the story takes place on an island called Isla Nublar, aka Site A. This is where the later Jurassic World also takes place at. It's an island in the, I think, Caribbean. It's around Puerto Rico, or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. So John Hammond needs help to sign off on the safety of his park. The company is sold out by Robert Negri, which is not to the liking of Samuel L. Jackson. He shut down the power so that he could steal DNA samples from the dinosaurs and give them to another company, which I believe is InGen. When he did shut down the power, a hurricane hit, which actually left everything very vulnerable and leaving the fences, the electric fences, without power. They're able to get free of their enclosures and show the true danger of dinosaurs. And I would easily have to say it's A tier, S tier, whatever's the highest I'm using for this list, because this movie is perfect. If you haven't seen this one already, watch it. Great movie. Moving on to Jurassic Park, A Lost World. Starring the only reoccurring character from the original movie, Jeff Goldblum. Him, some red-haired chick, and his daughter?
Huh?
It's been a really long time since I've seen this movie, so I'm not really sure the ifs, ands, or buts, but that's the cast. Taking place on Site B, Isla Sorna. That's right, we're changing islands. Isla Sorna, or Site B, is the breeding site which they used to breed the dinosaurs and bring them over to the park, Site A, or Isla Nublar. The opening scene was actually supposed to be the ending scene or the opening scene of the first movie, which they actually brought over to the second, which is a really rich family who accidentally lands on Site B. So as the family's sitting here eating grapes, these little chomps are eating the little girl. It's like, nah, they didn't, they didn't do the D word, but she did get bit up, and they were like a horde of chihuahuas. They got her pretty good, apparently. Jeff Goldblum and his friends go to save or talk to the red-haired girl. Like I said, I'm not entirely sure why they were going to the island other than to see her, but on the island, them and a group of mercenaries have a bunch of cool moments with the dinos. A company called InGen previously released the dinosaurs before leaving on an evacuation, which caused the dinosaurs to escape their enclosures, dealing with T-Rexes, waterfalls, and raptors in the tall grass, which is one of the coolest scenes ever, by the way. I thought this was super sick and deserves a lot more credit than I think the movie gets, honestly. They also have, because of all these mercenaries, they have so much cannon fodder, so it makes this movie actually a really good watch, especially for that raptor scene. That was very sick. Eventually, they all escape Isla Sorna and return to the mainland, where they auction off dinos, and eventually, they escape, causing a massive dino collection, which is like collecting Pokemon cards with giant human-eating teeth. A very cool portion where a T-Rex gets loose in San Diego when bringing it back and causes straight chaos. Nonetheless, very cool scenes in this movie, and I thought it was a pretty solid sequel. It was very interesting. Pacing was slow at some points. It wasn't as perfect as the first one, or story-wise, but it was still a good movie, and, you know, sometimes bigger isn't always better. We're gonna end this one off with a B tier. Like I said, I think it's a fun sequel. I don't think it was as good as the first one, and I think you have to separate that by a tier. I'd say B tier is perfect. Alright, we're moving on to Jurassic Park 3. This is either the make or break for the original trilogy of Jurassic Park, for most people. Alan Grant and John Hammond's grandson Billy from the original movie, are both the returning actors of this movie. There's also another actor, but we'll get into that later. A family called the Kirbys invite Grant to be a tour guide for an exposition heading over the island of Isla Sorna, aka Site B. Basically, they lie to Alan Grant, saying that they're going to fund his research for this expedition, but are actually trying to land on Site B with all the loose dinosaurs. Let me just say, the Spinosaurus is so cool. I mean, he's cool, he's extremely scary, good CGI, and is probably the most interesting antagonist in all of the movies. Wait, back to the story. The cast gets ambushed by the Spinosaurus, slowly taking them out one at a time. They bring down the fucking plane out of the fucking sky. Now would be the time to panic, chat. I'm keeping it real. A couple million-year-old dinosaur has been resurrected and happens to be one of the most territorial animals of all time. The plane crash. The cast eventually is able to evade the Spino and get a little bit farther until they run into, a fucking T-Rex, as if it couldn't get any worse. We got our first big dino fight. It causes the T-Rex and Spinosaurus to have to get into close combat. The Spinosaurus breaks the neck of the T-Rex, and it's on again. They keep running away, and they eventually run into some raptors. These raptors chase the protagonist up a tree, and they use the last mercenary that was accompanied by the group, and used him as bait until they realize no one's coming down to save this person, and they break its neck. So at some point, Billy, the moron grandson of John Hammond's, yeah, this family's a real smart group, by the way, steals raptor eggs, which I guess he's using to sell for money to a company, which causes the raptors to chase them for the remainder of the movie. The raptors were chased away by the Kirby's son, who was on the island the whole time, who actually is a pretty cool character and quite a badass, and he saves them with T-Rex piss. But, you know, as long as you're saved, right? Reunited by the noise of the satellite phone. Realizing that satellite phone was in one of the mercenaries' hands, they realized they didn't call each other back together. They were following the sound of, guess what? The Spinosaurus. And he's back, and he's better than ever. Causing a really cool chase scene, the crew eventually stumbles upon a pterodactyl cage and have to deal with flying dinos now. Ladies and gentlemen, I know this is not a pterodactyl. I'm not that good with dinosaurs. Please tell me what these are called. I think they're called like pterodons. I could be wrong. Comment down below. Help me out. Anyway, back to the story. They eventually escape and find a boat. Alan Grant gets on the satellite phone during a big storm and he's calling back to, guess what? The badass chick from the first movie, Ellie Sattler. Spinosaurus is back. It's attacking them. It's got them stuck in a cage, underwater, getting ready to drown. And the only words Alan Grant's able to mouth out before getting put underwater is Site B. And then the mom, Ellie Sattler, she looks at her kid, and her kid's staring at her, and he goes, rawr, and mimicking a dinosaur, putting 1 and 2 together for Ellie Sattler, saying, oh shit, he's on Site B. Is attacking them, and due to pure plot armor, realistically, and a flare gun, they're able to set up the flare, shoot it at the dinosaur, lands on the water. The flare lights up all the oil coming out of the boat that sunk, lighting on fire the Spinosaurus for it to have to retreat. They get away, and they run back into the raptors. They return the raptor eggs and use the 3D printed Velociraptor call to scare off the raptors. They end up making it to shore and are saved from Ellie, who from the satellite phone called the fucking US Navy, dog. Come on, what a fucking G. Back-to-back movies, very small role in the second movie, but she's still a fucking badass. Oh yeah, and might I say, the US Navy came in deep, dude. They came in like this shit was D-Day. They stormed those beaches fast as hell. I want to give Jurassic Park 3 a B rating. Alright, sequel time. Jurassic World is a remake of the first movie. Back to Isla Nublar we go. Owen and Claire were both really cool characters. The raptors, like Blue, were also really cool, and the setup of the park and the actually being run with, you know, people being in there, super cool. The Indominus Rex was interesting, but the hybrid idea as a whole is what ruined the sequels. It's a good movie overall, and the scenes were interesting, and I do like a lot of the Indominus Rex scenes, but from a story aspect, it's pretty much a remake of the first movie, but with actual customers. So I do think it has a really cool dinosaur. It's good, but it's not great. Let's go B tier. Next, Fallen Kingdom. This is literally just a remake of A Lost World plus a volcano. It's back to Isla Nublar, but still. I don't understand why they keep making these movies exactly like the originals. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's genuinely not a good movie. I know a lot of people like this movie. I do not like this movie. I think it has good scenes, but that's what a movie should do. You know, I think this is lacking in a lot of things. Like, it adds more of the hybrid shit, and I really only liked the third act where, like, the dinosaurs chasing the clone girl around the house. That was cool. That was all that was cool. Y'all are gonna hate this. D tier. Let's move on. Alright, Jurassic Park Dominion. This is apparently the worst movie in the series, which I cannot disagree with more. Like I said, I do not like Fallen Kingdom. This movie was a lot better than Fallen Kingdom. I like how they put Claire and Owen together, and then we also got Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler together as well. Like, we were waiting for that since the original movie. Like, this was a good way to close things up. And I like how they were back at the cabin. I thought that was a really cool scene with Blue. I like the idea of the valley. I like the idea of the valley because it housed the dinosaurs. I thought that was a really cool thing. Even if it was, with bad intentions, I thought it was cool. Locust part was pretty stupid. The cult was weird, but to be honest, it made the movie more interesting. I don't know. I think there wasn't enough dinosaur scenes, and that really lowers the overall score. And I do think the movie was a lot all over the place. But to be fair, this was better than Fallen King. Let's go C minus. This one attempted to do big things, and it didn't do them very well. I can appreciate it for trying. Last, Jurassic Park Rebirth. Honestly, I feel like the first half of this movie didn't feel like an American movie. Like, I don't know what it is or what country I would assume this movie's from the first, opening scenes. But it seemed like all the, actors were, really badly lip-syncing their lines, which felt really weird to watch. And I also thought, the whole boyfriend thing was super weird. Like, the guy was a pure asshole for majority of the movie. I was like, bro, he should die. I feel like that's the guy who should kill off as the asshole in the movie. That's like movie 101. Anyway, the D-Rex was stupid as hell, to be honest. I thought the characters were trash, except Scarlett Johansson, just keeping it a bean. I did like the Spinosaurus and Mosasaurus' alliance. You had a couple Spinosauruses and you had the Mosasaurus hunting down boats. I thought that was really cool. Very cool concept, but it was only 15 minutes of the movie. And at the same point, the Spinosauruses look so much worse than in the third Jurassic Park movie. Like, honestly, they ruined Spinosauruses for me. Honestly, holy D tier, I would not rewatch this movie. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all the support you guys have done recently, and I want to thank you guys, and I really do appreciate what you guys have been doing for me. I really do. Make sure to keep watching. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and leave a like. Let's get this a little bit more well known, this channel. And yeah, once again, I appreciate you guys. I got a lot of cool content planned, and I can't wait to share it with you. But until then, peace.